You're listening to the Gutsy Podcast, where we talk about all things real, raw, and ridiculous about running a business authentically. I'm Laura Wallace, also known as the Laura Aura, lover of all things inspirational, owner of Works Graphic Design, and your host on this journey through entrepreneurship. I'm here to help you get out of your head and back into action as a passionate business rock star. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday as we fuel your gutsy. You guys know that I am a geek for all things energy. I mean, if we're talking about feeling feelings or speaking things into life or owning your true self, I am all in 110%. So today I'm insanely excited because we're talking about manifesting like a boss babe. So I have Paige Cole. She's just a superstar. I can't wait for you guys to hear her story. Paige Cole is a master mindset coach, a business strategist, author, speaker, and dancer. Paige coaches dancers on how to maximize their hustle inside and outside of the club. And I can't wait to learn all about this. Paige, welcome to the Gutsy Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I am super excited to be here today.
I think we're just going to have a great conversation. So I want to hear all about your career because I'm sure there's lots of inquiring minds. So tell me a little bit about your journey as a dancer. What led you to that? Give me the background.
Okay. So there's a lot that goes into this story. As far as dancing goes, I started dancing when I was 19 years old. Before that, I was actually working as a server at Olive Garden. But even before, so I was 19, I was serving at Olive Garden. I was really frustrated. I didn't like it. But even further back before that, when I was 16 years old, I lived with my aunt and she started doing a network marketing company. And it was the first time in my life that I had ever seen something outside of corporate America. And it was like, you're your own boss. There's no limit on how much money you can make and all this kind of stuff. So I was introduced into the entrepreneurial world and I found it so fascinating. And I became fascinated with it. And I also became fascinated with the law of attraction and manifestation because she also showed me the movie, The Secret. And so when I was 18 years old, I actually signed up for a network marketing company myself to do that with her because you have to be 18 to do it. And so alongside of my serving career and then going into dancing, I also was always doing something on the side, like a side hustle or a business or something. So I started doing network marketing, but that wasn't really panning out so much that I liked it. And I was serving and I've always been interested in dancing I know it kind of sounds weird, but in all honesty, ever since I was a little girl, I was like fascinated by dancing and like stripping. And I was like, wow, like these girls are so pretty. They make so much money. They're just dancing. And so I got fed up working at the restaurant and I was like, fuck it, I gotta try. So I went and I did my amateur night and I won the contest. They paid for my license. I got hired at the club. And I started working there. And I was 19. I'm 30 years old now. So I've been a dancer for 11 years. And I started dancing in Washington State. And then I moved down to San Diego. I've danced at my club in San Diego for pretty much the majority of my career dancing. But alongside while I was dancing, I am an entrepreneur and I started many other businesses. I opened a bikini coffee stand when I was 20 years old with a business partner. I opened a fitness studio. I dabbled in real estate, dabbled in insurance. So I always did a lot of stuff on the side in addition to dancing, which kind of led me to where I am today, which is a mindset and manifestation coach and a dancer.
Wow. I love it. I love that you owned something that the majority of the world would consider taboo, right? Let's be honest. But you owned that so early on in life, like that was something that drew you to it. Did you, what obstacles did you face? So when you're going into something that, anytime you do something that's kind of what the rest of the world would consider like, oh, I could never do that, or I don't understand it. What obstacles did you face as you started to really own that part of you?
Yeah. So I love this question. It's a really great question because in all honesty, so I've danced for 11 years and I've done the other things outside of it, like I was just mentioning, but I didn't outwardly own the fact that I was a dancer until a few months ago. Like this,
Oh, wow.
yeah, this May is when I just decided to be raw and authentic and transparent about the situation, because with the industry of dancing, there's a lot of judgment and stigma and just things that people think dancers are that they really aren't. Like, we're badass bitches, and people think that dancers are all, like drunks and alcoholics and drug addicts or whores or stupid and all this kind of stuff. And it's just, that couldn't be further from the truth. And so my whole career of dancing, I was never ashamed of it or anything, but I never, like, my friends and my family, people who knew me knew. I didn't hide it from those people, but outwardly, like in the other professions and other things and on social media and stuff, I never posted about it until recently. I started working with a coach myself, because as coaches, we know the value of having a coach.
Amen.
She knew I was a dancer. And she was like, Paige, you have to just own it. Because by me not owning it, I was energetically telling the universe that I believe that if people knew I was a dancer, they wouldn't hire me as a coach or they wouldn't buy my programs or anything, which in all honesty, that's not the truth at all. And so by me choosing to own it and choosing to step into my truth, it allows other people to do the same thing. Because even if you're not a stripper or a dancer, there's things, every single person in the world has things about themselves that is the truth that they don't want other people to know about, for fear of judgment, for fear of being rejected or being looked down on. And so for me, stepping into my truth and just owning it and really embodying it, which is what I'm doing, it really allows for other people to do the same thing.
I love that so much. Yes, and so many yeses, because especially the part, like, by holding back a part of yourself, you're energetically telling the world and the universe that you're not ready for whatever abundance could come along with that. So you're constantly like dodging opportunities unintentionally, right? You want to do all these things and you say you want to do it, but then the action doesn't match it. So I love that there was this whole shift within you. So what was that like? Okay, so we're literally just a couple months into that. And see, honestly, I would have no idea that you had, I would have thought that from day one, you would have been like just completely super transparent about it. So tell me about that transition and that shift.
Yeah. So my family and my friends knew, majority of my family knew. The one person in my family that did not know was my dad. And yeah. So step one, and he's like my biggest supporter, biggest fan. Like he, before I like came out about being a dancer, he, would like read every email I sent and listen to every podcast and like was super a fan, big cheerleader. And so out of respect to him, I needed to have that conversation with him so we could sort that out. You know what I mean? Before going public with it and having him find out in that way. So for me, honestly, telling my dad and having that conversation with him was more difficult than just outwardly telling it, because I don't care what other people think. It doesn't change anything about me, but my dad is my dad, So
right.
Step one, got to have that conversation. I had the conversation. It kind of went how I was expecting it to. Things have sorted out, a little bit of argument, a little bit of, questions, like typical conversation that you would expect for a daughter and a father to have around dancing.
Sure.
Yeah. But anyways, it's sorted out now. He understands. He doesn't agree with it, but that's okay. He doesn't have to agree with it. But I'm so grateful that I am honest and transparent with him, because I didn't like lying. I didn't like avoiding the truth with him and stuff like that. And so I felt really proud of myself for choosing to have the courage to do that, to have that hard conversation with my dad and doing that. And then stepping into owning it. It's like all of my knowledge and all of the personal development and all of the manifestation teachings that I know and that I have can so beautifully be integrated into the arena of dancing. And so it's so easy for me to just seamlessly own that I'm a dancer incorporate my manifestation teachings into the arena of dancing. And so that's probably why it looks so easy. Like you said, like, oh, I would never have known that you just came out about it, because it's just easy. And it's such a big part of my life. And I am grateful that I chose to make that integration for sure.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm really intrigued by, to me, you had a gutsy moment, right? So before having a conversation with your dad and, before May and everything happened, everything was just kind of on the down low, like it was happening, but not really to the world. Mm-hmm. So I think that one of the largest obstacles that people face is actually owning their truth and then stepping into it like unapologetically. So what did that feel like when your first post, or when you relaunched your website, or, when you just started like publicly owning that? Tell me a little bit about that process.
So I made a post. I have this post. It's actually on my Instagram still. It's a picture of me. I'm in Cabo and I'm like laying on this infinity pool and I'm naked. Like, it's a classy photo. You can see my bare booty, but anyways, so I post this fire photo and I post this caption basically owning just saying like, hey, I've hit something for 11 years. I'm a dancer. These are the judgments, but guess what? These are also the benefits. And this is what I've learned. And this is how empowering it is. This is what it is. I made this long post and I posted it, and I was really proud of myself for doing it. And the feedback that I got was overflowing love, support, encouragement, cheerleaders, like people in my life that I thought would totally be judgmental of me or look down or whatever. Some of those specific people are literally the people who respond to every story, like, yeah, this is awesome. Or they're commenting on every photo, liking every photo. And so me owning my truth and just owning it allows, me to just be transparent. And I think it has really shifted people's perspective in like, wow, like that's really cool that you did that.
Yeah. I mean, it takes an immense amount of courage to stand in your light, right? Especially when it's something that not everyone can fully understand. And that can be in any aspect, right? A business decision, a life decision, changing your entire, aesthetics of who you are, whatever it is. When you're standing in your light, that can be often a very frightening place to be. And I think that that's often what holds a lot of people back, is the fear of the judgment from others. So yeah. Did you come across any naysayers or obstacles that you were like, okay, well, I kind of expected this, here we go?
You know what? Honestly, I think since coming out about it, I mean, minus the difficult conversation I had with my dad, but other than that, like, I think I literally have only gotten one negative comment about dancing, and I just promptly deleted and blocked that person. Like, no big deal, right? But when I think about my coming out and just this whole situation, I think about the movie 8 Mile. Have you seen that one with Eminem?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So I think of it like this. At the very end of the movie, Eminem's doing the rap battle with the other guy, and he goes first, and instead of like talking shit on the other guy, he literally just laid every single thing out about himself and was like, now what? What can you say that I haven't said already? And so it like makes me feel, I'm like, yeah, I'm Eminem in 8 Mile. Like, I'm owning it. You can't talk shit about me. There's nothing to say. Like, I own it, So it takes the power away from the situation. It takes the negative power, the negative judgment, the negative energy associated with it. Because if I'm just owning it, it's like, well, fuck it. She owns it,
Yeah, it leaves people literally like speechless, like, well, okay then. I got nothing else, so I'm going to be on my way.
Yeah.
I love it. There's so much, the crazy thing about standing in your light is that, and just really owning who you are and doing what life has called you to do, the magic that is on the other side of that happens. Mm-hmm. And that's where I find, what you do so fascinating. So you're talking to women about manifesting like a boss babe. So what is manifestation to you?
Okay, so manifestation is the outward reality of choosing to do the interpersonal work within yourself. Manifestation is everything in your life you're manifesting, whether you are conscious or you're not conscious about it. And so when you start to learn about manifestation, you can take ownership in your life and what you call into your life, because you are, in fact, a co-creator of your life. So you create your life with the universe, and there are ways to bring in what it is that you want. And there are ways to create and manifest like huge things into your life once you're aware of it.
So I know that this concept of manifestation, sometimes it's a buzzword or people kind of roll their eyes at it, or you're all in. Like me, I'm all in. Talk to me about manifestation all day long. So what are some of the first things? So you're working with women to integrate this as part of their growth process. So what are some of the things, where do you even begin with manifestation?
Okay. So with manifestation, there's basically like a 6-step process to manifestation. If you're like brand new, you're like, I don't know what this is. Manifestation is also the law of attraction. I know people talk about the law of attraction. It's like one and the same thing. And so if you're brand new to manifestation, I would recommend this. So number 1 is get really clear on what it is you want. The universe loves specificity, and it loves details and clarity and all that stuff. So the more specific you are in what you want to call into your life, the better. For example, if you're like, I want more money, it's like, okay, you go outside and you pick up a penny, and then the universe is like, oh, your wish is my command. And it's like, nah, I wanted $10,000, So you have to get super specific on what you want. Number 1. Number 2, believe with everything in your soul that you can have it. Because so in addition to the law of attraction, there are 11 other immutable laws of the universe, 12 in total. And I love coaching about them and teaching about them because I say, life is a game, and the rules of the game are the 12 laws of the universe. And so one law that relates to this is called the law of correspondence. And that states that your outer reality is a direct reflection of your inner reality. And so what this means is if you don't believe that you can truly, genuinely have what it is that you are wanting, it's never going to come into your life. You can have the best strategy, the best business plan, the best action, the prettiest, sparkliest notebook that you're journaling in. But if you don't believe that you can have it, it's not going to happen. So that's step 2. Step 3 is eliminate why it won't work. So if you've never had something before, what you have now is no future indication of what it is that you can create. And so you need to just eliminate reasons why it's going to not work. You need to stop telling yourself bullshit stories. And then number 4, you need to believe the new truth about why it is that you're going to work. You need to believe and see with everything in your heart and soul that you are worthy of having what it is that you want. And you need to embody that person. So step 5 is detaching. So this is the thing. You have to make the ask, and you have to take the action, but then you have to detach from the outcome, because our job in manifestation is our job is making the ask and taking the action. The co-creator part, the universe part, is the how and the when. And so we can't ever choose when things are going to happen or how things are going to happen, but by you detaching from the outcome and being grateful with where you are at in your life right now is how you call things into your life in the quickest way. And so step 6 is receive. So you have to be open to receiving. And how do you get yourself into a state of receiving is by giving gratitude for every single thing that you have in your life.
Wow.
All right, that was a long answer.
No, that was like the most beautiful answer ever. I just had to pause for a second. No, it's so true. And this stuff resonates with me on such an immense level. We talk about this a lot in our office here at Works, but we talk a lot. And I want to go back to one of the key points that you said is you can think about wanting something all day long, but if you don't feel like you deserve it or that you can obtain it, it will never connect, ever. And that's one of the things that I've learned mostly over the last year to 18 months is, I can think about having all these great things, but if I don't believe that I'm worthy of it, they're literally not going to present themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And if they do present themselves, if you don't believe it, it's not going to stick around in your life. If you want money, but you don't believe you're worthy of having it, you might call it in, but it's going to leave just as quickly as it came in. If you want a relationship, you could call someone in that you think you like, and then they're going to run away because you don't believe you're worthy of having it, Right.
And that kind of goes into discovering the root issue of what's been holding you back. So tell me a little bit about, how do we even discover what's been keeping it in the cycle, like what you just said, like if you're, calling for a specific relationship and it shows up, but you don't know how to receive it. There's a disconnect with yourself. So talk to me a little bit about that process and even just owning your root issue.
Yeah, I love that you are bringing up the root cause because it's super important. I'm an NLP practitioner also, which is neuro-linguistic programming. And that's how I work with my clients, my one-on-one clients within my courses and programs. I incorporate a lot of NLP. Tony Robbins is a huge NLP guy. But so in NLP, you want to get to the root of the problem, right? You don't want to just put a Band-Aid over it because that's not going to heal something. And so when you want to figure out the root cause of a problem, when we are born from birth to age 7, we are walking around, we're like a walking subconscious mind. And we take everything that we see, hear, and experience to be the truth. And so whoever raised you, whoever you're around, whether it be your parents, siblings, aunt and uncle, grandparents, whoever it is that you're around, that you are watching them, you pick up their behaviors and their beliefs to be the truth. And what people tell you about yourself when you're that young, you believe it to be the truth. And so this is where limiting beliefs can be imposed, because not that your parents or people who raise you want to limit you, but they're doing the best with what they have, right? And so their limiting beliefs will then be impressed upon you because you don't know better. And so then your subconscious mind takes this on to be the truth. And this is just what you believe about yourself as a child. And then you grow up not knowing any different. You just think that that's how it is. But when you figure out and you can like normalize the fact that, wow, that's not even my belief I don't have to accept that belief, because a belief is a thought that we think over and over again with enough conviction and emotion that we believe it to be true. And so with that, if that's the case, you can let go of beliefs that don't serve you, and you can instill new positive affirming beliefs to move you forward towards what it is that you want to accomplish in your life.
Oh, it's so great. This reminds me so much. So our team just went through this exercise called Liberation Week, and we wore our core negative beliefs on a t-shirt every day for five days. And it was such a bold exercise, but it has literally shifted not only us, but the people around us. And like, I don't know, there's just this whole new energy that's been insane, but it goes back to exactly what you just said. And those were core negative beliefs that were instilled upon us. So through an action that someone did to us, words that were said to us, behavior that we were around all the time. You know, like I talk a lot about being too much. So one of my core beliefs was I am too much. Uh-huh. So things that were said to me and circumstances in my life, anytime that I got quote unquote big, I made myself small to make people around me more comfortable, which in lies keeps you stuck, right?
Yes.
So I love that you talk about limitations are a choice and how you can start to shift those things, but you first have to be aware of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Limitations absolutely are a choice. And if you think of it, we're all, okay, so there's a law, it's called the law of divine oneness. And that states that we are all connected to one another, and that what you see in one person, you're actually seeing in yourself. And what's possible for someone is also possible for you. And so no one is better than anyone else. Like we are all equal on this planet. And so if you're seeing someone achieve the success or the money or the career or the relationship or something that it is that you're wanting, know that that's the universe showing you that, guess what? It's possible for you too. You just got to get to the root of your limiting beliefs, get rid of those, and then believe something different, because it's absolutely possible for everyone to achieve everything that they want to have.
100%. You know, it's when the belief aligns with the action, you can literally do anything. And I know that sometimes sounds cliche, but you literally can do anything. And
absolutely.
Sometimes I think that we put quote unquote other people up on pedestals, like, oh, I could never achieve that. I can never do it. The only difference is they chose to.
Yeah.
Right?
And they believed in themselves.
Yes.
And they took action.
Yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful. So I love what you're doing. So you've created coaching programs. You've got your own podcast, which is exciting. You're hosting events and one-on-one programs, and Bali 2020. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
So I just love how you have taken so many different aspects of energy and business and dancing and have combined this into this online mecca, in my opinion. So talk to me a little bit about what you're doing, how you're working with your dancers, you're talking about helping them to maximize their hustle inside and outside of the club. How does that translate with them, but also into your business coaching clients as well?
Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that. So with working with one-on-one clients, maximizing their hustle inside and outside of the club. So there's a lot that goes into it because the arena of dancing is a beast within itself. And in order to be successful, you need to heal your money mindset, understand the spiritual and like scientific principles of manifesting money, which comes down to like healing yourself internally. And so you want to step into the club, you want to have confidence, you want to believe in yourself, and you also want to know that there's an end game, because you can make a ton of money dancing in a very short amount of time, but you want to use it as a launch pad for future success. And so I work with people on their money mindset. I work with people on their confidence, on their limiting beliefs. But then I'm also a business coach and a business strategist. And so I'm going to coach you on making more money in the club, but also I'm going to coach you on setting up your own online business. So that way you can create additional streams of income that will replace your dancing income if you want to exit dancing, because there is a shelf life on dancing. And I mean, that's just the way it is, which is fine, And so while you're in there and you're making all this money, like use your money, use your time to your advantage. How do you do that? You build a business, you start an online business, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, strategy, but there's also mindset and energy that goes into it. And so I feel a really good grasp on like both worlds as far as like business strategy implementation, but also energy manifestation and mindset work.
Oh yeah. So many good things I want to dig into here. So the first thing, talk to me about healing your money mindset, because I think that there's so much that goes into that. I'd love your perspective on that.
Yeah. So healing your money mindset. So this actually kind of coincides with what we were just talking about earlier from when you pick up your own beliefs about yourself. You pick up so you create money stories. So like when you're younger and you see these people who are raising you and you're picking up these beliefs, you're also seeing how they operate around money. Like what did your parents talk about? Did they argue when the bills came? Was there never enough money? Like what were the people in your life? What was their relationship like with money? Because money is energy. And just like relationships in your life, you also have a relationship with money. And so when you can kind of realize that you have a relationship with money and like you have a certain money story of where all these beliefs came from, that's when like transformation can begin. Because when you realize like, oh wow, I don't have to believe this about money because that's what my parents went through. I can choose a new belief. That's step one. And then step two is like, wow, money is my best friend and I'm going to treat it as such. And then you start to heal that relationship with money, and then you normalize the conversation, and then you attract wealth and abundance into your life.
Yeah, it's money. I love how you said money is energy, because that is spot on. My journey with money and I have not always been the best of friends. Actually, we're actually quite new friends just here in the last few months. But because of exactly what you were saying, growing up, money was not there, or it caused issues or anger, or there was just all this negative connotation around what money was. And then you could go to the flip side and, oh well, people that have too much money, there is a whole nother conversation there. So it's been this balance of, have more to be able to live, but don't have too much, because that makes everyone else uncomfortable. And just working through some of those breakthroughs. So
yeah. I like that you just brought that up, like having too much. There are no limitations when it comes to money. There are no rules when it comes to money. There is no law that says you're only allowed to have X amount of dollars in the bank. And a money block that a lot of my clients and students come up against is that same belief that like, oh, I don't want to have too much, or I don't, rich people are greedy or whatever. And it's like money. So first of all, there's a lot of people who are wealthy who are very generous. Oprah, Tony Robbins, tons of people who have a lot of money who are in fact not greedy or not selfish. And so also when you look at money, money is a resource, and it is a resource that can be used for really good things. And money amplifies who you already are as a human being. It doesn't make you good, bad, right, or wrong. So when I say money is a resource and money is a tool, it's a tool just the same way as a knife is a tool. Okay, so a knife, you can take a knife and you can cut and prepare a delicious, nutritious meal for your family, or you can take that same knife and you can kill someone with it. Now, was it the knife that did it, or was it how the knife was being used? And so when you see money as a tool and you know that you can use this tool and this resource to benefit you, to make an impact, to help other people, why would you not want to call as much of it into your life as humanly possible?
See, and this is why these conversations are so important, because it just opens up the mind to think, I hadn't really thought about it from that perspective, or, there's a lot of truth to that. I just never saw it like that. So I love being able to talk about money in a way where it's just celebrated. It doesn't matter how many commas or not, money is energy, and it can do a lot of really beautiful things if you believe that it can.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the other thing too that you were talking about is the confidence. So with the ladies that you're working with, and then even just down into building the online business, and the folks that you're coaching, there's a beauty and an energy around confidence. So tell me a little bit about how you're working with people that are going from maybe being shy or timid or not wanting to stand in their light to now they're just like killing it.
Yeah, love this question. So confidence is actually a state. It's an emotional state. And a lot of times if you're struggling, like if my clients are struggling with confidence, what I like to do is I like to ask them, can you recall a time in your life where you felt completely confident? Most times they're like, yeah, absolutely. And I say, can you float back into that time? And can you actually remember feeling those emotions? Yeah, absolutely, I can. So since you are able to access that emotional state, you can step into confidence literally at any point in time by just making the choice to do so. A lot of times when people are saying that they want to be more confident, what they're really looking for is competence in something. Because if you need to know how to do something or figure it out or get comfortable, that is completely different than confident, because you can literally just choose to be confident in anything you're doing, because it's just a mindset shift and it's just a reframe of how you are choosing to emotionally operate.
Wow. Yeah. I just love everything that you say.
Thank you.
Again, so true. I love that you said, and say it again, they're not looking for confidence, but competence.
Competence. Yeah.
So a skill that's lacking, or not feeling good enough, or just there's a level of resignation that they're not able to connect with.
Yeah, maybe they need to, if they're starting an online business, maybe they don't know how to build a website. Okay, there's tons of resources out there. Like Google it, do this, like take one of my programs. They're like, I want to start a podcast. I just don't know how. I don't have the confidence. No, you can choose to be confident and take that confidence and find the resources, because the most successful people are in the world don't necessarily have the most money or had the most money in the beginning. They're the most resourceful, right? And so using your resources and finding resources to get you where you want to go is how you're going to educate yourself and create that competence where you will eventually, start to feel more confident.
Right. And then I think all it takes sometimes is just one thing to click. That just raises your vibration level to be like, holy shit, this is actually working.
Absolutely.
And then then that raises the bar, and that raises the vibration. And then you do it again, and then something else clicks, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, like one day I thought about doing this, and now today I'm actually doing this. And sometimes that space in between is a little bit gray and fuzzy, but damn it, I'm doing it.
Yeah, it's like it's a circle. It's a cycle effect. It's like, okay, you become more competent, then you take a risk, and then you become more confident. And then it allows you to become more competent in another situation. So it's literally like an upward spiral of confidence.
Yes. So that leads me into creating an online business. So, we live in a world now where online businesses are huge, and people are creating multiple streams of income, and And again, sometimes I think that it feels like it's up on the shelf. Oh, that's for other people. Oh, they have a smarts that I don't know about. So talk to me a little bit about your journey in starting your online business.
Yeah. So I started my online business in so I went on my first international trip in the end of 2017, and I fell in love with traveling. And I came home and I was like, I got to start an online business. All these people are making money, but like, what do I do? At that point, I knew how to check my email and check Facebook. That was it. But I was just determined, and I had this like huge end result in mind, and I knew what I wanted to do. And so I just started applying myself. I would literally wake up and I would be like browsing the internet, and I would be watching YouTube videos, and I bought courses, and I would listen to podcasts, and I'd read books, and I would go to seminars. And I just chose to fully invest myself and in my business and learn how to do all the things that I needed to do to create an online business. And today, I mean, going from back then when I could check my email and check Facebook to today, I literally have built, I'm a one-woman team as of right now. I've literally built every single thing. I built my website. I do all my podcast editing, all my emailing, all my funnels, all my sequences, courses, sales pages. I literally do. I've taught myself how to do everything. Wow. So it's possible. You can do it.
That's amazing. And I think that there's, so when did you launch your online business?
So I launched my online business it was about a year ago, actually. It was this time last year I launched my online business, but I wasn't really putting a lot of energy into getting a lot of clients or doing courses and stuff, because I wrote a book, and the book's Manifesting Like a Boss Babe. And so when I first launched the business, I launched it and I started doing the podcast, but on the back end, I was like putting all my time and effort into writing the book. And so when the book was done, with writing it, that's when I started. So the beginning of this year is when I really started diving into like all of the other things associated with online business.
Right. And then so that started to quickly coincide with your being public about your career. Mm-hmm. And then those worlds started to marry one another.
Yes, exactly.
Which is brilliant in its own. So I think that something that you just mentioned, a lot of people are like, oh my God, I don't know if I have the time or the energy. So there's this balance between when you're starting and hustling and doing it all, and then a transition into delegation, and do I extend to a team or do I get a virtual assistant? And so I hear that you're doing all the magical things on your own. Mm-hmm. How is that on... and I also realize that everyone resonates differently with those types of things. Some people like love getting their hands in everything, and other people are like, oh my gosh, I just need help. So talk to me a little bit about you running literally every aspect of your business. Is that taxing? Is that changing? What's that like?
Yeah. So last year, I have worked with a couple of VAs, just a part-time. As of right now, I don't have any on my team. But so I definitely have experience delegating work out to other people. I just am not doing that at this time. I am a firm believer in growing and scaling your business. I'm actually reading the book Traction by Gino Wickman right now. And he talks all about like scaling and automating and, creating this like machine of a business, which I so resonate with. But I am a firm believer in delegating, but it has to be in the right time, and you have to find the right people, and you have to create the right like systems and implement it and coach and train the people on your team. And so it is a process, but if you want to scale and take your business from, like a one-woman show, like what mine is, to where I want it to be, which is a 7-figure company, you definitely have to bring other people on into it, because I'm the visionary, I'm the coach, I'm the, all these things. And if I need to show up for my business, but if I'm having to show up and also having to do all the back end and I'm going and dancing still, like it takes a lot of time and energy and effort. And so by bringing people on, which I am going to be bringing people on very soon, and I'm super excited about that actually, it allows you to scale your time and your impact and your reach dramatically.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. There's a season in business that, you kind of just, you wear all the hats. It's kind of what you sign up for when you start running a business.
Yeah, you
But then,
have to wear the hat to learn it so that you can teach who you want to come into your business how to do it. Like you have to know how to do all the things. It is my belief system. You have to learn all the things if it's your business.
oh yeah, absolutely. Because you have to start somewhere, right? And I think that sometimes business is glorified in the sense that, there's all these people that do all these things that, no, you're really just literally rolling up your sleeves and you're learning. And when you don't know, you figure it out. But then there's this beautiful transition point, like what you're experiencing right now, where you get to start delegating. Because I think you brought up a really good point. And I experienced this with my business, fairly early on. You can be out making the promises all day long, but then who's essentially in the back office fulfilling those things? So there's this give and take period of, this is really stressful. Things are growing. Growth can be stressful as well. I don't know if you've experienced the stress that comes with growth.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure have.
Yeah. So, it's really all about a dance. No pun intended, but maybe a little. It's this business dance of acting when it's time and being in tune to that. So, are you manifesting like a team, or tell me a little bit about energetically where the business is headed?
I am manifesting a team. And I love that you said it's like a dance, because I actually like to refer to manifestation as a dance, because manifestation is a fun and it's a playful energy and it's a dance. And there's a lot of moving parts to it. And there's an ebb and a flow in it. And so there's an ebb and a flow in manifestation. There's an ebb and flow in your life. There's an ebb and flow in your business. And I'm reading, like I mentioned, reading that book, the mentors that I follow and the people that I watch and that I model my business after, everyone raves about this book. And so for me and my experience, having gone through what I went through last year, kind of like hiring independent contractors to do certain work and kind of probably spending a lot more money than I should have at that point, hiring the wrong people, doing all those things. I'm at a point right now where I really am intentional about what I'm doing within my business, the money that's going out, the money that I'm spending. I'm intentional about who I'm bringing into my business. And I'm also intentional about creating a rock solid machine of a business that is going to be able to run regardless of if I'm present or not, because I'm still a human being and I'm going to take vacations and I'm going to take days off. And I don't want to sit and worry about my business falling apart if I'm not able to be there. And so by reading and studying and implementing and working with coaches myself, I'm able to get the knowledge and the know-how and how to set up something really solid for the future. So that's exactly what I'm manifesting. And I'm manifesting it by making the ask and doing the work.
Doing the work, that's such a key part of it. You can ask all day long, but if you're not willing to put in what it needs behind it, it's like you said earlier, it may show up, but it's not going to stick around.
Yeah, like I could bring VAs and integrators and, marketing people in, but maybe they're not the right people, or maybe they're not doing what I want them to do because I don't know what I want them to do. There's so many parts.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love the part where you talk about, and I think that this is a dream for a lot of people, is creating multiple streams where you're making money and your business is growing, whether you're hands on the keyboard or not. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about how you discovered or created some of these programs where you're able to do that.
Yeah. So I love online business for like digital courses, and there are different ways to do that. There are like evergreen courses that you can make, which people can buy into them at any point in time, which I have some of those available. So those are just, I could wake up and have sold a course and made money and not had to do anything except for the work going into it, making it initially. I have launch strategies, which is I have open cart, closed cart launches of different programs, like more intensive group coaching type programs. And so those things just scale, and like the payments just start coming in, working with one-on-one. And so it's kind of like a scaling, like rippling effect, where you put in all the work up front. You still do work like in the meantime, right? But you put a lot of work and energy and effort into this product, into this digital course, or into this program. And then you're able to sell it while you're sleeping, or you're able to relaunch it multiple times a year, and you already put the work in. And so I just find that so fascinating and so beautiful about the online business, and so scalable as well.
So scalable. That's the thing that blows my mind the most, I think, is you may be in San Diego, but you could be selling this product literally all around the world. And if you're willing to put the hustle in the beginning and be very strategic about what it is you're selling and offering, the scale is literally limitless.
Mm-hmm. And being very clear on who it is that you're selling it to, because if you're super clear on who your target ideal client is, you can talk to them. All of your copy will be directly talking to them. They will resonate with you and you will attract them into your business so much faster.
How do you typically go about or coach your clients through figuring out who those people are for them?
Sorry, you cut out a little bit. Through figuring out what?
Through discovering your target audience. So how do you work with your clients to help them discover who those people are so that they can be super strategic?
Oh, yeah. Great question. So it's really important. I like to explain how important it is to understand your ideal client avatar and then to with manifestation, getting crystal clear, right? And so the more clear you are on your ideal client, the better. So name her. How old is she? What is her profession? What does she like to do? What are her hobbies? What is her home life like? Get super clear on this person, well, it doesn't have to be a girl. It could be a girl or a guy. Get super clear on this ideal client and then figure out what it is that keeps them up at night. What problems do they face in their life that needs solving for whatever your business or company or products are? And then figure out how your products, services, or programs are going to solve those problems. And then from that point, you are able to tailor all of your marketing, all of your copy, all of your content towards speaking directly to that person.
And that's where, honestly, I think some of the most magical things through marketing happens, because when you're on a website or you land on somebody's Instagram and you're reading and all you're thinking is, oh my God, how did they know that? How did they know that's exactly who I am? Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I'm thinking. It's like, are you in a tree somewhere? Like watching my life. And that's the power of really defining your target audience or your avatar. Getting down to granular levels of all of those details. It just, by the time they get to you, they're just like, there are no questions. How do we
take my money? Please take it.
Take my money. And then we're all the way back to the beginning of manifesting the money. And it's like this beautiful circle.
Yes, exactly. Receiving. Be open to receiving that money, baby.
Yes, absolutely. This has been such an incredible conversation. Are there any other tips or tricks that you would love to share with our audience about manifesting or ownership or just standing in your light or your truth?
I think what I would just like to end a note on is to really, if you want to accomplish something or move forward in your life, or you're not where it is that you want to be, know that you are absolutely worthy as you are right now. You are divinely perfect. And whatever it is that you want, whatever you desire in your heart, desire, that word means of the Father. And so whatever your belief is, God, universe, angel kingdom, higher power, whatever it is, your desires are given to you from that higher power. And so you are never given a desire without also given the intrinsic resources and the capability of achieving it. And so if you're wanting to accomplish something, or you're wanting to go after something, know that you want that for a reason, and also know that you are absolutely worthy of accomplishing it. And you have everything within you to do it right now as you are. No waiting. You don't need to wait until you accomplish or achieve something else. You can do it right now today.
It's such a beautiful reminder. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love, we often get in the trap of, if I read one more book, if I take one more class, if I
get one more certification, when I have the money, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yes, it's all right there. All you got to do is take a hold of it. Such a beautiful reminder. So my last question for you, and this is one of my favorite things, is what does gutsy mean to you?
Gutsy means being brave and being bold and courageous and standing in your own truth, regardless of what you think other people are going to think of you.
Amen. Mic drop on that. Let's do it. Paige, thank you so much. This has been just a beautiful journey for me. And I know that our audience is they're just rapidly writing. How can we connect with you? How can we stay in touch with you?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed our conversation as well. If you want to connect with me further, I love social media. I'm on Instagram all the time. My Instagram handle is at the.page.cole. My website, my website is www.pagecole.com. I have a Facebook group. It's called Rainmakers. And I also have a podcast. It's the Make It Rain podcast, where I talk about money, manifestation, entrepreneurship, and all the things. So
fantastic. Well, we're just getting started with our journey together, because I believe in divine intervention. And as I've been manifesting money and you've been manifesting business, I think there are great things ahead. So thank you so much for being on with us today. Join me this Thursday as we take our power back through shifting your mindset through manifesting growth. Yeah, we're going to keep this manifestation train moving forward, because guys, there is so much potential within you. All we have to do is tap into it. Until then, follow the Gutsy Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. And for more Gutsy insight, follow me personally on Instagram at @LauraOro. See you next time.